we need a border. The border is number one for people that are going to the polls now. It's surpassed the economy. Todd Bensman, a national security fellow at the Center for Immigration Studies and the author of Overrun, How Joe Biden Unleashed the Greatest Border Crisis in U.S. History. Todd, good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Big media circus right now. They're trying to claim that they've got some bipartisan deal and it's going to make things great. Todd, I'm going to go back to John Jay, the Secretary of Homeland Security, when Barack Obama was in the White House. He said 1,000 illegals a day was a bad day. We've had it as high as 15,000, 16,000 in the last few weeks. This new bipartisan deal, and I say it with some jest, would bring it down to 4,000 or 5,000 a day, which is still $2 million a year. It's not security at all. It's no deal at all. I don't care which feckless Republicans vote for it. It's a terrible deal. That's my opinion. What do you think?
Well, it's a joke because there's nothing in this deal that, at least that's been spelled out to me, that would require detention and deportation, that would enable the Republicans to compel the administration to actually deport people when they reach the 5,000 mark, which, by the way, for Jay Johnson would be a black nightmare, never-ending nightmare, 5,000 a day. They would try to codify that as law. The big problem with this, other than the fact that there's no detention and no deportation spelled out, or a way to compel it when the 5,001st one crossed, is that the president already has it within his power to shut the border down right now without any deal, at zero. There is a clause in the INA that allows the president, without a Title 42, without anything like that, to just simply say, no mas. Nobody is coming over that border at all. Zero.
They have the absolute authority. This idea that the president can't shut the border down right now is garbage. He has the ability, we know this, he has the ability to federalize the National Guard. If it wasn't such a terrible political move, he would, but it would look so bad, and he would be rejected so universally, they won't do that. They won't take over the park, take over that park in Eagle Pass because it would look so bad. But he does have the authority. You have the federal laws. You have your oath of office as the president of the United States to protect this country. You have the constitutional requirement, Article 4, Section 4, to stop an invasion and to protect the Republican form of government. I mean, it's all crystal clear, isn't it?
Right, and then the Republican negotiators are really kind of showing their ignorance here, and I'm being very kind when I say that, in that they're negotiating something that they don't have to negotiate. They should be negotiating, you are going to shut the border down completely, 100% deportation, 100% detention, or else we're not going to vote for your Ukrainian funding or anything else for that matter. There'll be no bill at all unless and until you shut the border down using existing authorities. Republicans should not have to give up anything at all, let alone to codify 5,000 a day crossing that border, which is just an unbelievable catastrophe, numbers like that. Listen, we're not taking into account, in addition to the 5,000 a day that they would let cross in illegally, that they're using this CBP-1 app on the phone that's bringing another 30 or 40,000 a month in every month. They're flying in from foreign airports, and they can expand that as much as they want. They're just being
right. They
fooled.
skip over the border, so those numbers are basically hidden. They're just flying them into. How can we fly as a nation illegals into the country directly from another nation? We do this intentionally, just skip over the border to hide those numbers. And here's the. I mean, that's an absolute joke, Todd. You know that. It's not getting any better. We do have to move to the point where people are going to be deported by the millions. We don't have any choice. Let me ask you this, Todd, because this is a number they admit 8 million under Joe Biden, just over now, plus the gotaways, so maybe 9 million. The truth is it's millions more than that. We have to go back 20 years to where they said there's 11 million illegals in the country. A Pew Research study found that there were 11 million people back then. What's the real number? Is it 25 million? Is it 30? 30? What is it? What is the real number of illegals in this country? Any idea?
I think that we don't really truly know. However, the Center for Immigration Studies, my employer, does study this, and we take a conservative position on that number. Most recently, I think we've come out with about that. It's still about 12 million plus what they've been bringing in the last couple of years. So it's going to be millions more than that. Because we just don't know how many gotaways there are. That's the real problem. We said 1 million. I think it's really closer to 2 million gotaways that just got through, and those are the known gotaways. There's another category called unknown gotaways that are kind of a presumed figure that is very squishy. So we really just don't know is the answer to that. I know it's not a satisfying answer. But it's definitely.
Well, no, it's an answer we need to know. But I mean, we see these communities in Texas now, these sprawling communities where they're able to sell land to illegals. They have the sprawling community of illegals living in Texas. Nothing being done about it, nothing at all. And then, of course, you have all these efforts underway to issue all the illegals driver's licenses. So the motor voter laws, when you go to get your driver's license, you're automatically registered to vote. I mean, the game is obvious. The goal is and always has been Texas. Turn Texas blue and they win forever, right? I don't see it happening again this year. I see it being rejected. I see people rejecting the idea, as you talked about in the break with me. The border is the number one concern for people. They are rejecting the policies. They're rejecting this idea of 5,000 people a day, rejecting all of it, aren't they, Todd?
It's true. The polls in Democratic cities in the north that are absolutely been waylaid by this thing show that, traditional Democratic constituencies like black communities in Chicago, for example, are promising that they're going to vote Republican. Polls are showing the lowest numbers of black support for Joe Biden ever. They've dropped like 30, 40 points. And it's because of this issue. We would like to maybe say, oh, that's really great that they're abdicating, from generations of Democratic voting. But what a cost. I mean, what a high cost to just have millions and millions of foreign nationals in the country in order to get them
hundreds
to vote.
Of billions of dollars. Yeah, hundreds of billions of dollars. All right, Todd, so all the circus is going on. We need to reject this. I wish I could keep you longer, but I'm up against it. But I want you to come back. I know you're going to the border here, in a few days after the circus leaves town, which is important so you can see actually what's going on without all the news media and the politicians. But please keep coming back. Our people need to know what's going on. Nobody's covering it properly. You are, we do, and we truly appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for magnifying my work, too. Thanks.
Thank you, Todd. We'll take a break. We're going to talk about your health for a moment. All this raises your blood pressure, you're retaining water. Let's get past that.